Hello, everybody. My name is the Cooked Canuck, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I wanted to talk about Fallout 76, something that I've had experience for the last at least 7 years on and off, just trying in between updates. And there's a lot that's changed, definitely, and a lot that really hasn't changed. And I think I wanted to get into my gripes about the game as somebody who has played pretty much, actually, not even pretty much, I've played every single Fallout game, even the Xbox one that really sucked. I didn't play for a while, but it sucks, okay? That one really sucked. Unfortunately, this one isn't much better. When Fallout 76 was actually first announced, a lot of people were excited. I was excited. Everyone was joking about country roads. I had that shit on my goddamn cell phone, okay? Even after launch, I tried to be optimistic, hoping that updates would later fix this game. And a lot of the gripes that people had, mainly that there are no NPCs in a Fallout game, which wasn't true. There were NPCs, they were just robots, and they would literally just be like, give you a quest, and you just go do it, go do some arbitrary task, go back, and you're like, yeah, now go back out there and do another task for me. And honestly, not much has changed. I think a lot of what Fallout 76 does is even a step in the wrong direction for the Fallout franchise, because there is not much choice in those games either, but we'll get to that. People often point to the bugs, the disastrous launch, or Bethesda's handling of the game as the reason it failed. While those absolutely did not help, I think the core issue is the game itself, even today. Fallout 76, you can technically play solo, but the game constantly incentivizes you not to. Public events, daily challenges, world bosses, and XP systems are clearly designed around multiple players being present. Solo play just feels like opting out of how the game wants to be played. To make matters worse, Fallout 76 actively rewards grouping up with more XP. Public teams grant intelligence bonuses, which directly increase XP gain. And perk cards like Inspirational only work when grouped. And then we go to the monetizing solo play and convenience aspect. If you were wanting to actually truly experience solo play, or at least solo in Fallout 76, you have to pay for Fallout First to access private worlds. And those aren't even offline. So you're paying to remove other players from a Fallout game. Fallout First includes unlimited scrap storage and later ammo storage, features that directly affect gameplay convenience. They're just locking shit behind a paywall and saying, yeah, you can have all this stuff. This feels like a mobile game. This is why I didn't want to play Fallout 76 anymore, is because it feels like you were incentivized to put money into this machine, and I don't feel like doing that. I've given Bethesda enough of my money. Give me products I want, and then I'll give you money. Bethesda had launched the game and explicitly stated that Fallout 76 would not have any pay to win aspects to it, or at least it was only going to be cosmetic items. The promise did not last. Bethesda later added repair kits, which basically repairs weapons, so you were actively incentivized, which yes, you can get Adams points in like while playing the game, but aside from that, you to get repair kits to repair your items, you can buy stuff in the Adams store called repair kits, which are basically just stuff to repair your weapons, your armor, stuff that you constantly use. And if you have a favorite piece of armor, you're going to be spending racks on those points just to get further in the game, which I've seen people level 1000. I don't understand how people could play this game. I don't find the game that interesting to play that long. It's just so boring. We all know what Fallout 76 is. It's a money grab. It's like Fallout Shelter. That's what they view it as. They view it as something that they can keep expanding on and keep making money on consistently while working on other products, which from a business standpoint, I understand, but from a consumer of all of the Fallout games, including Fallout 1, 2, just all of them, you get it, okay? No, no, I'm not. I don't agree with that. I think a product should be complete and not constantly fighting with the goal of updating it, because and this is why I don't like multiplayer games that constantly update. I wish there were just game modes that you can have one. That's why I like Counter-Strike out of all the multiplayer games, because mostly it doesn't change. It's mostly the same game. Fallout 76, After 7 years and then going on and off, honestly, there was so much stuff I just didn't understand what was going on with. It was kind of cool to go back and look at, which for all of those new things that they added, new places to explore, it is nice for that aspect. But looking for this for a serious RPG where you're trying to get a story driven experience, maybe go play Fallout 4 or Skyrim or maybe New Vegas. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's you're not gonna find it here. Fallout 76 even today looks like a game from 2013, not 2018, and certainly not 2026. It's honestly surprising that the game functions at all in the current creation engine. Just to go on a side tangent here, the creation engine is a heavily modified version of the Gamebryo engine, which was an engine that Bethesda had been using since pretty much Morrowind in 2002. Fallout 76 forces this engine to support persistent multiplayer, synchronized AI, and live service updates. The result is a game that runs but constantly feels like it's fighting its own foundation. And I feel like even Fallout 4, it had these issues. Even some of the same glitches that I've been playing recently with Fallout 76, I've seen those exact same glitches in Fallout 4. So they just have not fixed this. And by the way, this is the same engine they're using for the Elder Scrolls 6. So yeah, and they also used it for Starfield, which that game kind of ran like shit. I mean, most of Bethesda's games run like shit, but it's not a competition. This design philosophy is strange for a Fallout title. Fallout games are traditionally a story-driven RPG that releases complete. It is a full product when it comes out. You are not worried about it coming with updates. Sure, there's DLC, but you get that over time. It's not really required for the main game. It's a nice aspect, but with the main game of Fallout 4 or even New Vegas, you had so much content just to get into for like what, $40 at launch maybe. New Vegas might have been a little bit cheaper, but they're different experiences. I've never really wanted to I'm not going to say never wanted to play Fallout 76 because I boot it up now and again, but it's just the main game everybody thinks of being terrible. I might even think that some other games like the original Xbox game, the Brotherhood of whatever, I can't even remember honestly the name of it. I played it. It's just such a bad game. Might be more fun than Fallout 76 because a lot of the problems I have with this game is just well the way it plays. Like, have you ever gone into a video game like they give you the option of starting at level 20 now, but also by the way, this game is so easy, especially when you're around other players who are leveling up faster than you. They just give you XP bonuses anyways. Like, it's kind of crazy. Going to public events basically instantly grants you a ton of XP bonuses, which again, this is a part of the online aspect. It kind of encourages you to go to these events and try to experience more because it gives you better items. It feels like each game of the Fallout series, at least the new ones, keep going closer and closer to Borderlands, where they have like like increasing boss bar level and the stars and the radius, like tons of stupid crap that is engaging. I will say that at the very least for a video game, but it just does not appeal to me in the same way. And it's not the reason I come to play Fallout. The reason I come to play Fallout is, yeah, to screw around, but in a world that I can actually, have major decisions. Like, I can go into a casino and just start shooting it up for no reason, which that sounds a little psychopathic, but it is an option in the game. It gives you choice. In Fallout 76, you don't get that choice. You walk into a town, and I've been playing the new Burning Springs update. You walk into a town, try punching people, no response, buddy. You're not allowed to damage people you don't want to damage, bro. That's not allowed up in here, okay? You're not allowed to kill people we don't want you to kill, okay? It's not like people buy video games to have fun and make their own choices and make mistakes and shit. Nah, man. Let's just keep, and this is the same thing with Fallout 4. You couldn't kill certain people in Fallout 4, but not to this extent. Like, you can't even kill random NPCs in a town in 76, which again, it's trying to be more like an MMO, right? Like, I don't even know how to describe it because I haven't played too many MMOs, but maybe um I couldn't even compare it to something, but Fallout 76's visual design is also unfocused. Fallout 3, just to give you an example, had a green tint, which made it feel very kind of very sickly. I feel like that's the intent that it wanted to go for, and you can kind of see this with the rest of the games too. New Vegas had more of like a dead desert feeling and that yellow tint, which it was like the Xbox 360 had an orange tint phase, which a lot of games were implementing that people call the piss filter. But I don't think necessarily New Vegas is like that. It was actually partly a lot of the choice. Maybe some of the other games had a lot of that direction too, but I feel like it was a big thing back then. But it wasn't the entire game. Some locations gave you a bit of a different tinge, and some town like Jacobstown had a bit of a different tinge to it. Just to separate a few of the different locations. Fallout 3 really didn't have a lot of those. There might have been some locations that felt extremely different, but it really felt like it was trying to be oppressive in that feeling versus New Vegas, where it was trying to feel more desert-like because it's in the Mojave, it's in the desert. Oh my God, it's still a lively world, but it's trying to fit you into that world and into that space with that feeling with coloring. Even Fallout 4, to an extent, it added a more blue tinge to it with its color design. It wasn't giving like an entire thing like Fallout the first two Bethesda games. Uh, it's just it was trying to go with a new style, and I think in the new engine, it was just something that was really nice. You can't add just a straight tinge to it. It's nice. I'm not going to say Fallout 4 doesn't look like a good game, but I do find a lot of its aspects, mainly its graphical engine, makes it look a little weird sometimes, and it's just I don't know, man. Sometimes I do like the original look of New Vegas and Fallout. Even Fallout 3, I actually like the design of a lot, where it makes you feel. I don't want to say it doesn't look realistic, which Fallout 4 doesn't look realistic. It looks really cartoonish. But Fallout New Vegas and 3 had a very, I don't know, gritty. It was very gritty in its actual design, where you can, it just feels so like I don't know, unnerving in the wasteland versus 76 or Fallout 4 where you feel not it feels more open and more welcoming as a wasteland, if that makes sense. And I feel like this was a purpose-filled design to bring more people to play these games. Like you have something that's more accessible to people, especially Fallout 76, where they added a ton of creatures which weren't, you know, something that you'd see in Fallout 3 or New Vegas. And I'm not saying that Fallout 76's character designs are bad. I'm just saying it's different. It's not, I don't know. It's not something that I look for in a Fallout game, which is why I guess mainly I didn't like it. Even some of the, just basing it off of folklore and stuff, some of it is cool. I'll say that, where it had the Mothman for a while, but like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's a little too goofy. It feels like Fallout 76 has the Wild Wasteland perk turned up to 20, and it just never knew when to stop. I hope Bethesda kind of clears their head if they're wanting to release a Fallout 5, and I honestly hope they take a good long while with it. I know a lot of people want a Fallout 5. They want these Fallout remakes, or Fallout remasters, whatever you want to call them. Maybe with Fallout 76, we should take a look back and be like, let's let them cook for a while, okay? I think we can wait a little bit for what we've seen from Bethesda because clearly they need a while to work on these things because the time they're giving themselves, even with regular releases like Starfield, is just kind of underwhelming. Also, Fallout 76 kind of has had this problem for a while. If you walk into a lot of the interiors and you see a lot of the exteriors in the environment, and it feels like a lot of the assets from Fallout 4 are just reused, which you can reuse assets. I'm not saying that. Like Fallout New Vegas is literally mostly reused assets, okay? But it felt like a different product. And yes, Fallout 76 feels like a much, much different product from Fallout 4. It's just a lot of the things I see, it was like, oh, I've seen that exact same thing in Fallout 4. And I'm like, I just wish I was playing Fallout 4 right now. So yeah, that's what this game feels like. I guess maybe again I'm more playing it from the aspect that I'm playing it by myself, but I don't play, multiplayer games to get a good storyline. I play to, play with my friends. And if Fallout 76 is supposed to be like that, then it's going to be a very hard time convincing people that they should play Fallout 76 because I honestly won't even ask them to endure that torture. And just to talk about the Fallout 76 major updates, uh, I think Wastelanders I played quite a little bit of when it was released on PS4. I remember the day it released and just playing it. And I was like, oh, this is okay. They added dialogue options to the missions. That's kind of what it felt like because a lot of the NPCs, I couldn't tell you a single NPC that I remember from Fallout 76 because there's really not a lot of them and there's not a lot of choice. A lot of them feel like just outlined characters that are very basic, and I could see them in any post apocalyptic game. It just feels like the most bare bones, basic, and just watered down experience. I feel like a lot of people have said this before with a lot of other games, especially Skyrim's a good example where there were a lot of elements from Oblivion that got turned down to make Skyrim just that much of a more of an experience. And for a lot of regular users, so more people could get into Skyrim, or at least from what I've read and watched in interviews and stuff. And I feel like Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 kind of feel a lot like that, where a lot of the elements from the original Fallout games are toned down, or some of the stuff that was toned down, like a lot of the violence, blah 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 blah, even a lot of the oppressive dark feeling of it was relieved, especially with Fallout 76, where it feels, even the trailers, like look at the trailers where somebody's just in a field gunning things down. Like, the series does not feel like its original state anymore. Like, if you look at the original Fallout 1 intro, comparing it to the Fallout 76 trailers that originally were advertising the game, these do not look like from the same franchise. Like, the only thing that looks similar is maybe the blue outfits, but like even then it just feels like a parody at this point. I don't get it. I don't know what's wrong with this company. I don't think they've ever really been able to handle Fallout, except for maybe Fallout 3, but these feel like entirely different experiences from what people actually want from the company, which I don't know, maybe that's just me, but if I were an investor, I would be telling these guys to maybe not be doing these decisions. And then there were other DLCs which I didn't really get too much into, like the Steel Dawn and Steel Rain introduced the Brotherhood Steel content, which I never really explored at all. The expeditions, like the Pit in Atlantic City, added new areas, which I think that's cool, and a new way to add things in the wasteland, or even Burning Springs to an extent, which was having an entire new area in the game, which is pretty cool and was places you could not go to originally, which I was hoping they, even in the original, they were, when I was playing it originally, looking at the areas that they were, I'm like, they're going to add something to that. And here we are a few years later, they added stuff to it, which I'm not surprised, but it's kind of cool with those type of aspects. So I actually don't mind some of those aspects where you're adding on to stuff, but I just feel like the main complaint, and I know I'm just saying this game sucks, but a lot of it is you're going to a game expecting one thing, and maybe I've just been burned from this game for so long, for 7 years, that I just feel like I need to talk about it even more. But it's not something that you're going to for the actual story, or what something a regular Fallout game would be. This is just so obvious a cash grab. And honestly, since Fallout 4, I don't think Bethesda has been really doing much aside from trying to monetize their games with either Creation Club or anything else that they can push into these games, especially Fallout 76 with a point shop, because the amount of stuff in there that is just ridiculous. And if you saw the stuff in Fallout 1, I don't think people would have initially gotten into the series. It would have been too goofy. Um, it just it just feels more like Fallout has become more and more of a parody of itself in more recent years. Even in the show, which I'm hoping I'm gonna make a video on soon, because The series seems to be getting, I'm not going to say better, but it is more interesting than what I originally had thought it was going to end up being. And I think the first season, with all of its gripes, it was not that bad of a product for Fallout. And I felt like it was a good introduction to what people could see as the series. But the second season started off a little weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. The stuff that you see in both of these seasons almost makes me think that whoever's telling the director to make some of the decisions in the show, which make it seem extremely goofy. Yes, Fallout is goofy, okay? There may be a few elements that were added into the original games that were meant to be a little silly. It meant to be like a parody or whatever of a few things. But now it feels like the parody has taken over Fallout. It's not even like what it's trying to be anymore, which I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, comparing things between what it started as versus how it's going now just seems kind of like a good thing to go back and watch. And I've been playing a lot of the first game. I want to get into them. They're really hard to get into, surprisingly. A game from 1997, hard to get into. Wow, who could have imagined? I really hope Bethesda kind of greenlight. I know they're doing remasters of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, which, yes, I think they should 100% put resources into that. But I feel like we should also get experiences like Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 remade entirely. Because if we don't get experiences like that remade, I feel like we kind of will dilute the series so much that it won't even resemble anything that it was originally. Um, which it would be a lot of work, but I feel like if you got somebody like Tim Kaine, which has been expressed a lot of willpower to want to actually make new Fallout games, maybe Bethesda should take the chance, but I don't honestly feel like they would do that for some reason, even though that would be printing money. Um, I just feel like it's not the way they want the series to end up going, which is really unfortunate because I feel like there's a lot of angles that maybe Tim Kaine could have gotten a lot more into, but you know, it's just me. I don't mind Tim Kaine. Sometimes he talks about stuff that is quite interesting about the series that you never really would have gotten anywhere else. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. I like listening to game developers talk about their games because it's inspirational and what they can actually think of as human beings. That like a group of people could work on this project and work on Fallout, and it become such a big franchise that it is today that even my parents are getting into to a certain extent. Okay, it's just a little weird. Okay, um, it's kind of like what people getting into The Last of Us, I guess, which could not even experience the games. People getting into games that they never thought would be a cool experience to watch or even get into, but it's just such a weird combination of things as an idea for a post-apocalyptic setting that I feel it really intrigues people to an extent that not many other series have that tinge to it, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. But let me know what you think, because honestly, I feel like Fallout 76 has become just. It hasn't even become anything. It just feels really weird, you know? It's just an experience that I don't think anybody. You can experience it. If you like Fallout 76, I'm not going to blame you. There are aspects to it I do like, but I think a lot of the experiences I'm looking for are not within Fallout 76. I would much rather spend my time playing anything else. So yeah, let me know what you think, and maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I got burned on Fallout 76 when it released. Maybe I just have too much faith in Bethesda. Maybe I have too much faith in any gaming company. At this point, I honestly don't even know. A lot of gaming companies have burned bridges with me, so at this point, it's not going to be a whole lot of tears shed. So let me know what you think. Again. Anyways, peace out.